Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another TDX reaction. Today we have a punny title, Doom Slayer. Ha ha ha, so funny. Anyway, whatever, and my executive producers wanted me to get to this one, so we're here with another DJ song, and I suppose, without further ado, let's go. I was expecting something more like Doom, you know? Just with the title, but still getting that essence of dread, so it's not like it's wrong. Kind of feels like an East Coast beat. Christmas beats to rap over. It's a great chord progression. Ooh. Little break there. Ooh. Oh, I love that. The switch up on the rhythm there. Okay. A little bit of a change. Again, keeping that, like, the dread. So, like, I see the title in this song. But I was not expecting this genre. I was expecting something much heavier with that title. That was probably just me, though, assigning it to Doom. I really like that synth in the background too. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I thought I was gonna do it one more time. I like how that ended too. That was a really cool way to end it. I don't think I've heard that specific way. Not like ending on 2 instead of 3 counts. More of a the fall off. While like removing basically nothing, it almost went to this like atmospheric space, but it also left it hanging just enough. It never quite reached that point. That's kind of unique, actually. All right, so this one kind of got to me a little bit. I was struggling with this one for the longest time. It's not that the song itself was like super complicated. There is one chord in here that I'm not sure if I can really figure out. I think I found one that's close enough at least, but it's a weird one, so I'm not sure if that's actually right. So the main chord progression for this song is C minor, G, this is where it kind of gets weird, A diminished maybe? And then back to G. And I think that's where it settles. I'm not positive, because like... adds a lot of that dissonance that we're hearing throughout this song, but I'm not confident in that. I feel like it could be something else. I messed around with like maybe A flat might be that, like... and it would just go back, but it loses that dissonance, so I think it might be A diminished, which is really interesting to me, just because it's not one that's used in just anything, you know? It's one of those chords where if you use it incorrectly, it'll sound awful, but in here, if that is the one being used, it's beautiful. It fits in perfectly. It also could be maybe like an F with like maybe a 7th, but the 7th feels way too bright. Like it feels more nostalgic. That just doesn't have the same bite as that does. That diminished might be the case here. It's, again, such a strange chord and not one that's used in a lot of things because of how peculiar it is to utilize. But at the same time, I can't think of many other things that would work. And actually later in the song, I'm pretty sure there's a B diminished, which is a very weird one as well. Just having both A and B diminished are like, why would you include these for anything other than really keying into that dissonance, which obviously this song has. So if I were to take that B diminished and throw it in, you can hear how that would kind of work, but it also doesn't settle the same way. So I think that in that case, it would be better to go down to the final chord being an A diminished instead. So, you know, but then it leaves it hanging too much. So there's something going on with this one. And I think it might just be because Guille was like, you know what I need to do? I need to add a little bit of dissonance in here to make it sound more dark and like kind of spooky scary, you know, something that is haunting. A lot of dissonance will add to that haunting sensation because you're utilizing chords that normally would not be in an average song. They're weird ones. Diminished ones are used for spice that the mere mortal should not touch, you know? It's like, you don't get close to those unless you're really knowing what you're going to get yourself into and being prepared to deal with those consequences in the key. It's not that these are impossible to find in any key. You can basically find a diminished in every single key out there. It's just underutilized or not utilized at all because it has such a bite to it that most people don't want that in their song. Like if you want a song to be uplifting, you stay the hell away from a diminished chord. But when you have something like this that's darker and it has that like kind of crunchy quality to it that you really want to lean into and utilize to the fullest extent, this makes sense because now you're having these chords that are fighting against each other, that are so close to each other and utilize some of the same notes. So it's like maybe that's what's happening here. And it feels like a really nice step down in that case. Again, this isn't like it doesn't work in music theory. It's just not something that most people utilize on a normal song. But in that, it does exactly what the song sets out to do. It creates that very dissonant sort of track that makes you go, ooh, there's something wrong here. I don't want to touch it. You know, like there's scales happening here that are very chromatic, neighboring notes that usually don't spend too much time next to each other because those don't sound good, you know? Chromatic scales are definitely a thing. Obviously, they have a name and everything, just like diminished chords do. But if you use them in the wrong way, they're going to crash up against everything else you're trying to do. So if you want something to sound brighter and more uplifting, you don't want that dissonance in your song. But for a song like this, that is the point of it all. So having those sorts of chords in there can really be that power couple of just, man, this song fucks now. It's just really fucking cool. And I know that Guille isn't like an inexperienced composer, so like utilizing these sorts of things is totally within his wheelhouse. It's just more of like a, wow, you're doing that? Okay, now I'm able to figure out what you're doing here, but also it makes it really hard to figure that out because for me, those are things that just don't get touched. And for a lot of people, same thing. So when they're brought up in a song, I'm like, oh, that's different, that's new, that's hard to find because they utilize notes that you're not usually used to using. It also doesn't help that for this song, a lot of the melody is carried by like single notes and not necessarily chords. They're in there, of course, they create the bass line for the song, but they don't really have the melody played on chords. It's mostly just single notes. So it very well could be just utilizing the D sharp and the D there and just kind of stepping down normally while we're sitting here on this G. And just utilizing that as its placeholder between, and maybe that's why I'm hearing things like these weird dissonant ones, because those utilize those notes, and it's like, okay, well, how do we use that? We have the C minor, that has that, we have the G, that has the second one. So you're connecting those already. So it's like you might as well, right? Maybe that's what's happening here. Maybe that's why I'm hearing this A diminished, but I also feel like that A is in there. And I know, again, that there was like the A flat in there at one point, and they also used something like a D flat in there at like the very beginning, that like brighter sound that was there. There's a lot of variety in this one. Not too much. It largely does stick around this C minor and the G, but within that, we have little microcosms of options you can pick from, and also the collapsing of these identities in the chords, much like I just showed there with the C minor and the G being so close together, and just having those two notes right there could be the difference at that one spot that was tricking my mind, that would also trick the listener's mind in a general sense, that would make that dissonance really cry out and be super noticeable, but also very hard to pin down. It's like hearing a voice in the forest and you're just like, I don't want to talk to whatever the fuck made that sound. So that unsettling quality is what makes the song really good. Also, just the addition of it being kind of like vaguely Christmassy and having that like music box quality to it, that haunted sound is just so cool to me. If you play any Christmas song in like a minor key, that if it's not already there, it will sound weird and oftentimes dark and kind of creepy in a way. It's just how that works when you take a song that's in like a major key and drop it to a minor key or a diminished. It makes it sound so much stranger because it's taking something that you kind of know to be safe and good and happy and then ruining it. And this song kind of just has a similar approach to that idea where you're hearing the song as intended, obviously. It's not like you've heard this in a major key and now they're making it a minor key. It's just the way that they're utilizing it. And I think that Gijay did a really good job at like capturing that little quality in there that makes it feel truly unsettling in a way. So just overall, great production as per usual from Gijay. I haven't really heard a song from Gijay where I'm like, ooh, that's bad. You know, like they're gonna vary in quality every time I hear a song from anything. It doesn't matter what property or who made it. Everyone's gonna have this moment where they just nail something and it just gets that tone so perfect that you're like, wow, holy shit, you did it. And this is kind of that one for Gijay right now for me. I've heard other really good ones, but this one just got that tone really, really nice. And moments like that weird diminished thing is why I can't place my ear where it needs to be and why it makes this song all the more effective in what it's trying to do. But I've been yapping about this one enough, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to get to something else, by all means, drop in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if like whatever did, you want to guarantee that I listen to something, you can always go to my Patreon or my YouTube memberships where you can force me to listen to something. Doesn't matter what it's from, who it's by, if it's good or bad, none of that matters. That's why it's a guarantee. But if you don't want to do any of that and maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!